All right, guys, we're on the third part of section 5.8, inverse trig functions integration. And we're going to review the basic integration rules that involve just basic elementary functions. I have a list of 20 here. I'm not going to read them all off to you, but these are the ones that we've pretty much gone over. And so what we want to do is get comfortable with being able to look at an integral and determine first which rule to use, which formula, and if we can rewrite the integral, and if we can't, to know that we can't integrate it with what we've studied so far. So that's what we're going to do in this example here. So this first one, we have dx over x square root x squared minus 4. So in this case, we have a square root of like a difference of squares with an x in front of the radical, and that looks a lot like the secant inverse formula. So in fact, it is where the u is x and the a is 2. So we can go straight to the formula 1 over 2 arcsecant, absolute value of x over 2 plus c. Okay, that was pretty straightforward. The next one looks very similar to it, except it has the x in the numerator and not the denominator. Some people might think it's arcsine, okay, but arcsine has the constant squared minus the variable squared. This has the reverse of that. Also, arcsine doesn't have the x in the numerator. So in fact, with this one, you're going to yet let the u equal x squared minus 4, and du is going to be 2x dx. And the reason that how we know to do that is because x is kind of the derivative of the stuff inside the radical, which we can adjust for a constant. So we would have 1/2 du equals x dx. So this integral would become 1/2 integral du over square root u, which is 1/2 integral u to the negative 1/2. Remember, square root is 1/2 exponent. Since it's in the denominator, I have to bring it to the numerator as a negative exponent. So now I can do the power rule, add 1 to the exponent. When I multiply by the reciprocal, it gives me 2. It cancels with the 1/2. And then we can rewrite this as square root of u, which was x squared minus 4, plus c. Okay, make sure the plus c is outside the square root. All right, and then this last one we had here is dx over square root x squared minus 4. This one we can actually not figure out with the techniques that we've looked at so far. If we scan the list of integration rules up here, there is no integration rule that has a square root of function squared minus constant squared, except arcsecant. But you have the u out front, but there's no x out front here. So with what we've learned so far, we cannot figure this one out. There are techniques for how to figure this one out, but we have not studied those at this point, so you wouldn't be expected to figure this one out. So I know this can get kind of tricky because you always might have in the back of your head, well, maybe this is one of the ones I can't figure out. So let's look at a couple more just to get a little bit more comfortable with this one. So here we have dx over x natural log x. And it might be like, wow, that looks pretty complicated. But notice that this is actually integral 1 over x times 1 over natural log x dx. And 1 over x is the derivative of natural log x. So it follows that if we let u equal natural log x, then du would equal 1 over x. Okay, so we could think of this as 1 over x natural log x dx. So then this would be the integral of u over, or du rather, over u, which is the log form. So natural log absolute value of u plus c, and u was natural log x. So it's natural log of the natural log of x plus c. Don't forget the absolute value on that one. Okay, so this next one natural log x over x. Now you might be thinking the same thing here, um, where u is equal to natural log x, and then du is 1 over x dx. And if you rewrite this, you would have natural log x times 1 over x dx. And if u is natural log x, then the du is 1 over x dx. So that becomes du. Now, if you just have u, sometimes this throws people off a little bit, but remember, this is just u to the first power. It's just a power rule. So u squared times 1/2 plus c, and this is going to be 1/2 the quantity natural log of x squared plus c. And let me just make a note about something here with this one. It's natural log of x, the whole thing squared. It's not the same as natural log of x squared. Okay. In this one, it's the same as if you had natural log of x squared. Okay. But that's not what this one is. This means natural log x times natural log x. Okay. All right. So that's that one. And then this last one, we don't know the antiderivative of natural log itself. The only choice we would have for u is natural log, and du would be 1 over x, but there is no 1 over x or anything like that to work with. So this is another one that we can't use, we can't find the antiderivative of with the techniques that we've learned so far. There's actually a method called integration by parts. It's kind of a reverse product rule, but we haven't learned that yet. But that would be applied to this one. And I'm just going to show you that the answer would be x natural log x minus x plus c. Okay. So it might be helpful to know or remember the antiderivative of natural log, but you don't have to have that memorized. All right, guys, that's it for this section. Hope that was helpful to you. Take care.